In this video, we are going to discuss the Pythagorean theorem and its converse. So, we'll start off with just the basic Pythagorean theorem. Now, specifically, I do want to point out that in a right triangle, this applies. In a right triangle, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. A and b represent legs of a triangle. Now, legs are these two sides here that are shorter that make up this right angle, okay? They're the shorter sides of the triangle no matter what. Side C is always the longest side, always. And that has a special name in a right triangle called the hypotenuse. Go ahead and say that out loud, or at least whisper it to yourself. Hypotenuse, okay? So again, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared in the Pythagorean theorem, and this specifically references right triangles. So what happens if I have a squared plus b squared, but it doesn't equal c squared? Well, that doesn't tell us what a missing side is. I can't figure out what a missing piece of information is. I can't find a, b, or c, but I can determine if it's an acute or obtuse triangle if I have all three sides, and I can also determine if it's a right triangle. So, firstly, I have to look at if a squared plus b squared is greater than c squared. I have one piece of information here. So if a squared plus b squared is bigger than c squared, okay, or c squared is smaller than a squared plus b squared, that means I have an acute triangle, okay? And then if a squared plus b squared is less than c squared, or c squared is bigger than a squared plus b squared, then you probably guessed it, we have an obtuse triangle. So what I want you to do in the U tries here is I want you to apply these to A, B, and C, square each of them, and determine if you have a right triangle, an acute triangle, or obtuse triangle. Remember, C is always longest. Okay? C always represents the longest side. So go ahead and give that a shot, get your answers checked, and then move on to a couple of the practice problems.